Hi, I'm Lisa and I'm a transformational life coach. In this video, I'd like to talk with you about negative emotions and how can you process them in a healthy and conscious way instead of suppressing, ignoring, or maybe expressing them, but in this reactive mode and when you're acting quite unconsciously. We all experience negative emotions from time to time, and it's part of being a human, but quite often we can judge ourselves for having them, and we think that experiencing this negative feeling is the same as being negative. But the important thing to understand is emotion is one thing, and what we're thinking about it, or we're thinking about some situation or the person that caused this emotion, is a bit different things. They influence each other, but they are not the same. And that's why in this video I want to focus on processing the emotion, the feeling, not the thoughts. And that's why the first thing that you need to learn to do is to disconnect your emotion from your thinking. Because when you can do it, you can easily process the emotion. But if you focused on all your thoughts, you will continue to feed this emotion, and it can become stronger and stronger. That's one thing that could happen. Another is when you just ignoring the emotion and you just stopping the thinking with the idea, it's nothing, I'll not think about it, and you pretending that nothing happens, that you didn't experience it, and like all okay. So it could be two ways that are not helping you to really process the emotion and to become free from this. When emotion arises, it can give you some physical sensations in your body. It can influence your breathing, your heart rate, or other physical feelings. And that's what you can focus on. But notice what caused the emotion in the beginning. Quite often, you can say that it could be some other person. They did something wrong, they said something wrong, or some situation, something went wrong, or some thoughts about future, some fear arised, or some thoughts about past and some regret come to you. And even if it's, even you want to say that the person or the situation is the reason of your emotion, it's not really true. It's always how you explain the situation or the person's behavior. So it's again your thinking. No matter what negative emotion you experience, it could be fear, anger, sadness, emotional pain, doesn't matter. The way you will process them will be very similar. And I told you that it's important to disconnect thinking from the emotion and focus on the emotion, because once something happened, once you already reacted, like not, you didn't express it yet, but you're already feeling it's building up. For example, anger. Someone made you anger, and you start feeling this in your body, and you think already something about the person, you judging him, or you judging the situation, and you maybe want to say something, and then all these feelings that comes together with the emotion will also influence your thinking. In this moment when emotion is very strong, you can't think clear, you're not very conscious in this moment, you're in this mode of like reactivity. So in this moment you should stop believing your thoughts and make this conscious decision to focus on the emotions. And when you do it, you can still see how these thoughts are coming to your mind, but you have the power to control your focus. And you focus on your body, what's happening in your body, because each emotion have quite strong energy. You can feel it, and you can start focusing on your breathing. You breathe and you feel. Try to focus on different parts of your body, hands, legs, anything. Don't be in your mind, be in your body and continue to feel in it. But the most important thing, don't focus on your thoughts. The only way to think here is to remind yourself, I'm processing the emotion. I want to release it, to become free from it, and you just wait for it to kind of finish. It will have its end. And you observe what's going on, how you're feeling in this moment, and you kind of wait. And then thought can come to your mind again that can make you angry or scared again or sad, but you don't believe this thought. You change your focus again. I'm processing the emotion, and you're breathing and you're waiting. When you will try to do it, you will see that it's really working, and it can become even a bit stronger. Breathing is actually very helpful in this moment, because you can imagine how you kind of and you let it go. Again, you'll let it go, and you can try to relax all your muscles, because anger is usually tension, fear is usually tension. So try to look also in different parts of your body and relax them and wait. And you will notice at some point that it starts getting calmer. And if at this moment you will not start thinking again all these negative thoughts, it will go away. You will feel more relaxed, and you will start noticing that your mind is getting more clarity. Finally, you see the situation a bit more clear, and you maybe not even so that angry anymore, not only in like emotional way, but also it could be the moment when you will start explain the situation a bit differently. Maybe not, because the more difficult situation when your thoughts continue to create this emotion again and again. So the process by itself is quite simple, but it could be two different situations. One, when just some situation happened here that triggered something and you had this emotion, but when you catch the moment, you change your focus, you processed it, you released it, and then you feel calm, you think differently, and then you solve the situation in some conscious way. And the other situation is when the problem is some long-term problem, and also you can have some thinking pattern or some beliefs that create these reactions repeatedly in your life. And then it's triggered the emotions, not just the reaction to this specific situation, but it brings all the feelings that are about some much bigger situation, something that you don't like in your life, something that you want to change, and maybe you can't. Or maybe it's some fear that maybe you feed in with some repeated thoughts, or anger because you can't change something, or some regrets so that you haven't done or that you done wrong. Those are not about emotion, and how you can deal with these problems is a different topic. If you want to know more about it, if you have some more specific question, you can leave me a comment, and I can cover it in some other video. But when we talk about processing negative emotions, so several things to remember and things that you can use regularly. First, don't judge your emotions, negative emotions, like something bad. Don't think that if you're a positive and optimistic person, you should not have them. We'll have them, it's normal. Being negative or positive is more about our thinking, how we see our life and ourselves, how we explain things, how we react in certain situations. It's our beliefs, our mindset. It's not our emotions. Emotions can be caused by different sudden situations, and if you learn how to deal with them, how to process them in a healthy way, they will not be a big problem. They will come and go, and maybe with time they will arise even more rare than they do now. But if your repeated emotion caused by some big, maybe deep issue, problem that you can't solve. Of course, you need to do something about this, but meanwhile, when you still didn't solve it, you still can use the same method for your emotions, because while you will process them in the way I explained, you will stop doing other things that are not good for you, because one of them is suppressing, and then you suppress it in your body, and all this tension and all this energy is kind of blocked, and it influences your energy and your health. Or when you expressing them without thinking, and if you expressing them without thinking, you can ruin some relationship, you can do something that you regret, maybe you will give up on something or miss some chances because of fear, or you were too sad or too angry or something. If you learn how to process, and if you will use these tips that I just shared, it will be also easier for you. You will get more energy, you will become more aware, and also it will give you more resources to deal with the issue, to deal with your problem. And the other difficulty that you may experience is that sometimes you may notice that you already reacted, like emotionally expressed it, and only after you understood what just happened. It's also completely normal. It happens to everyone, and processing emotions in a healthy way is all about practice. First, you have this idea, understanding, maybe more awareness about what's going on with you, but then it's practice. And it's okay if you couldn't do it straight away for every emotion. Even if you notice it afterwards, you can just spend some time and reflect about it and think how you can do differently. And maybe you can do some journaling after the moment happens, or in the evening, because the more you will remind yourself about the fact that you want to deal with your emotions differently, the more often you will remind yourself, the more probably that in the moment when the emotion appeared, you will remember about what you should do, and you will be able to do it. Even if several times you miss the moment, on the, third, fifth, 10th times, you will remember it. Then maybe you will miss again several times, but then you will remember again. Or differently, it depends how important was this moment, how deeply it triggered you, how much you were in your thinking, how conscious or unconscious you were in the moment. It depends on each individual situation, or each person will different. But if you will decide to do it, and if you will give it time, you will give it attention and your energy, of course it will work for you, and you will get the benefits, and I think you will be happy with the results. And everything that I'm saying here, it's not just some ideas, it's something that I'm doing, something that helping me, because for me, emotions and how I was dealing with them is like I was working with this for years, and I achieved really big changes. In many years I couldn't control myself sometimes in the emotional state, and then I was regret how I acted, and now I'm quite conscious with emotions, and I can give you some example just recently, a few days ago, how I was dealing, how I was thinking, and how then it's where did I arrive in the moment. And the best thing about it is that it's very quick, and then it doesn't have much influence if you do it. So the example, there was I was having breakfast, still okay, some situation triggered fear in me. I started panicking, and I noticed oh wow, this panic so strong in my body, and one part of me wanted to go into thinking how I will deal with what I will do without it, what if, and all my thoughts, how it's happens in the wrong moment, and it's it's not the time for it, it's too difficult, I'm not ready for it. And I noticed that these thoughts are coming, but I decided to focus on the feelings. And so I told myself, okay, it's some panic arising, it's fear. I should observe and release it. When thoughts were coming, I was just putting them aside. And I was telling them, I can't think clearly now. The moment was I understood I couldn't even eat because panic was coming so strong. And yeah, I was breathing, I was relaxing, I was absorbing it. And I also told myself that I have, like years of unconscious life. I suppressed quite a lot of fear. And maybe what I'm feeling now is not fear about this specific situation. Maybe now I'm also releasing some old fear, old panic that I was not able to process in the past. When I told this myself, then I feel that by absorbing and processing emotion, I'm doing actually something good for myself. I'm doing something important. So I was absorbing, breathing, waiting, and I let it go. I know maybe it take 10, 20 minutes or something, but yeah, I decided I will not force myself to finish to eat or to do something or to look at the situation positive in the moment. No, just waiting, feeling, and releasing it. So it went away, and then when I calmed down, I understood that even situation is not great. It's not as bad as I see it when I'm panicking, and there are things that I can do, there are things that are still not clear, that I don't have enough information yet, so there is no way to be so kind of negative and so scared about it. And yes, in this calm mode, after it went away, I was able to deal with this in quite normal, conscious way, and I didn't create any harm for myself. I gave time and place for this emotion, and I didn't suppress and block more negative things in this moment. So I did beneficial things for myself, for my body, for my energy, and actually for my life, because it was a conscious decision not to do anything, not to decide anything until this emotion will go away and I will become free from it. So yeah, I shared with you this example because I experienced quite strong panic in my body. Even the situation was not as bad, and I managed to process it, and then I was all okay. I didn't let this panic to ruin my day, ruin my mood, and create any more problems. Of course, I deal with some also minor situations around some small irritations, small anger or sadness sometimes. And when I deal with them consciously, it's always just about giving it time, not thinking in the moment about it, and then already make some choices in a different state, in a conscious state, when I have a choice, when I'm not controlled by this feeling. So by processing the emotion in a healthy way, you get benefits for your health, for your body, for your energy, and also for your life, for your relationship, for all the areas of your life. So I think you want to learn to do it. That's it for today. If you have any questions, you can leave me a comment below. If you like the video, put me a thumbs up, and you can subscribe to my channel and click the bell to get notification about my new videos.